bump us off. Okay. Yeah, my name's Andrew Kline, as mentioned, and this research and really evaluation was conducted with a few of my colleagues, Stacy, Kolegraff, and Joseph Cleary. I work at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, which is in California. So a little introduction and background of our research. This is based on two previous studies that we had conducted. The first one, which I'll get into a little bit more detail, was really just evaluating the use of hands-on activities in a few of our lab courses. And yeah, I didn't talk about it, but I teach in construction management. So it's kind of the in-between engineering and architecture at our university. So we are actually under the architectural umbrella, but we teach a good amount of business, engineering, and fundamentals of construction. So this study was really put together during and right after COVID, just to examine, as a lot of our courses went virtual, how were the impacts related to some of the skills that we previously evaluated. So these previous research that we did on campus, so you can see here that we have these hands-on labs in two of our main classes, residential construction and commercial construction. So the residential actually builds a tiny home, and then in our commercial course, we build a mock-up structure, introducing them to different commercial techniques such as foundations, CMU, metal stud framing, and whatnot. So the first research we looked at, okay, what are some of the student perceptions based on effectiveness as well as preferred ways of learning? And I'll show you the graph, but it was highlighted that hands-on building is #1 in both. And then we look to further study what other skills are developed, learned in these labs. So we also determined that soft skills and hard skills were also developed in these hands-on activities. So this study was really just thinking about, okay, we've seen the growth, we've seen the development of soft and hard skills, but what did the virtual courses do? Are students still getting the same amount of info and really benefit of these activities, even though they've been changed? So 2 courses were evaluated. So again, here's the tiny homes, and commercial is kind of our exterior mock-up. There's not much here yet, but we end up putting in exterior walls, interior drywall, and whatnot. Luckily in California, we don't get a ton of rain, or not luckily, but yeah, we don't get a ton of rain. So we build this one structure outside the whole school year. So yes, so evaluating in this study was really the use of hybrid courses. So this was delivered with synchronous or face-to-face via Zoom or Google Meets or whatnot instruction, but then the course or classes still met in person when they're building these activities. And then in the residential course, we kind of had the mix. So one course didn't change at all. We were able to still hold courses in a classroom, build these structures, but then another teacher chose to do a fully asynchronous. So she actually sent out these little building kits where they built a panel. So they framed it, they did electrical wiring, they did waterproofing. So it was really just evaluating, was that as beneficial as the hands-on activities? So research aim and scope is really just evaluating student perceptions of skill development. So again, were the soft and hard skills, were they still benefiting from these activities, even though we had a different course delivery? So we compared the 2 different courses, so hybrid versus asynchronous. Then the last part of the study is we looked at pre-COVID, because again, we based these off of previous studies, so we had all that data from surveys from students. Okay, so just a quick look at some of the previous surveys. Again, this was a study in 2019 where, again, we looked at preferred and effective preferences of students. And our SST, this is just the sponsored, he sponsored Simpson Strong Tie. So both effective and preferred were those hands-on activities. And then here's just showing some more data. So again, this was the preferred and most effective. So our approach is really just looking at those same questions that we asked them pre-COVID. So we had 10 different questions, and then some demographic questions as well that we were using a 5-point Likert scale. 3 of those questions were solely soft skills, 4 technical skills, and then 3 were kind of combined. So I'm not going to go into all these right now, but here you can just see the different things that we asked. So in the technical skills, here's the whole question that we're just seeing whether or not they, based on these hands-on activities, were they able to better understand building systems, knowledge of different systems, understand how things are put together. And then some examples of the soft skills, where again, were these hands-on activities? Did it give me a better appreciation for the trades, enhance my relationship with my team, as well as the instructor? And then the combination questions, yes, you can kind of see them, but gave me a better confidence in my building activities, helped me develop more professional skills, and it was a valuable part. So first, just looking at the hybrid versus the asynchronous approach. The technical skills were very similar. So we didn't see that big of a difference with the mean scores. But looking at the soft skills, there was a lot bigger variation. So here we had some of our lowest ranking or lowest mean scores, as well as the highest. So again, enhance my relationship with my team members. This was one of the highest among the hybrid classes. So those people who are actually able to build in person, that those who were building at home by themselves, again, there was no relationship with their team or even their instructor. So a little different but setup, but it was just interesting to see that the soft skills really were kind of hurt during this this time and this approach. And then the combo questions, this also had quite a big variation. With the biggest one right here, develop my professional workplace skills. Again, the hybrid people who are able to build in person scored fairly well. And then those that were building again at home with these kits scored a lot lower. So they didn't feel like this was adding to their skills. And now at the very end, we just compared to pre and post COVID. So in blue, you can see the hybrid courses, orange, the asynchronous courses, and then the gray is pre-COVID. So this was kind of the biggest eye-opener for us. The scores went up in a lot of different categories, especially the hybrid course, just because we thought or we perceived that students were just excited to be back on campus. So this was really just a year-to-year difference, but you can just see that, again, I think we thought students were just more excited to get back on campus, so these scored a lot higher than they did the year before. So our overall conclusion, technical skills, they had a high rating with the various modalities. So whether it was the hybrid or the asynchronous approach, those didn't really differ, but the soft skills definitely did. We had a lot lower scores with the asynchronous approach. And then again, what I previously mentioned, the scores improved with our pre-COVID and post-COVID modalities. So again, we just thought this was kind of an outlier with students really just encouraged and excited to be back on campus. But all in all, 97% of students considered hands-on activities a valuable part of their education in this study. So even though they were delivered asynchronous, they still saw the advantage and the benefit. And any questions, and if you want to reach out to any of us, please feel free. But again, my name is Andrew at Cal Poly.